Hi there, Facebook land and LinkedIn land and YouTube world. I'm Michelle.
I'm Jim.
We're from A Teague of Your Own, and welcome to another Motivational Monday.
Let's get motivated.
Woohoo! Yay! Yay! It's a fun day today. It's a snow day today. Snow days are Jim's favorites.
Yeah, because I got to go shovel the driveway if it ever stops.
It'll stop.
I hope so.
8 to 12 inches later, it'll stop.
Yeah.
It'll stop. Now, at this point, we've probably got about 6 out there, I'm thinking.
Whatever it is, it's a lot. I have no idea.
It's a lot more than there was last night.
Yes, last night it was mostly just ice.
Yeah, so last night, maybe 2 inches last night.
Right.
Around 8:30.
But that's our problem. We got a base layer of ice, and then we got snow on top of it. So this shoveling this afternoon is going to be just so much fun.
It's a good workout. It's your cardio.
Oh, okay.
And it's your strength building part too.
Okay, that was after watching the piece on the news about people having heart attacks from shoveling snow.
They're people who aren't in shape.
Well,
every time. All right, so Facebook land. Every time he goes to the doctor for any type of heart checkup, the doctor tells him the exact same thing, and that is
that I've got a heart that's in condition like a top flight athlete.
There you go. And top flight athletes don't have heart attacks shoveling snow.
And then they said the same thing about my lungs.
So you're good to go.
We will see.
Yeah, it's fun. All right, so it's Martin Luther King Jr. Day.
Mm-hmm.
Today traditionally is a day of service that people go out and they do community work. They help out others around them. A great day to go out and do some volunteer work. I know on our pages we're going to have ideas there if you need help finding different groups and stuff, depending on what the weather's like in your location.
Well, say if you can get out.
You may or may not be able to get out and about and help out and do things out there. But great day to get out there, help other people out in your community, help those who truly need it. Here in southwestern Pennsylvania, like we said, a lot of snow today,
mm-hmm.
which is typical for this time of year. But it's a good day to sit inside and reflect and learn more about the person, the man, the leader who Martin Luther King Jr. was, because he was a leader.
Yeah.
And we've been talking a little bit about leaders and what they contribute to the Great Resignation over the past couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
One of the articles that I found, and it'll get posted later this week, asks about the quote and the theory, people don't leave bad organizations, they leave bad bosses.
Right.
And that's something that we've heard for years. There's an organization, I want to say it's Culture Amp, that did a study to figure out, is that true or not?
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that they found was people are leaving organizations because there is a lack of leadership development opportunities.
No.
So that could be a combination of the bad boss and the bad organization.
Right.
However, I thought that was very interesting, because when I was a Fred Pryor trainer,
mm-hmm.
and I was out on the road, all I would get asked about were the different generations who were in the workplace.
Right.
And what do we do about these millennials who are in the workplace? And how nobody liked having millennials in the workplace, and how they were just awful. They had no work ethic. They didn't want to do anything. They thought, once they get hired, they would instantly get promoted to be, the president of the company within a week, and blah, blah, blah. The one thing that rang true with millennials was that millennials sought out opportunities for personal and professional development. And as a result, the organizations that would offer them, the millennials, personal and professional development opportunities tended to hire more and hang on to more millennials.
Right.
And they were happier and they would actually do stuff for them.
Well, and that's because all that training provides opportunities for advancement.
Yes.
And I think that's also a big thing that's going on with the Great Resignation is uh, we now have inflation outpacing wage growth.
Yeah.
And that leads to a situation where in order to advance their wages, people are having to leave jobs and go find new jobs.
Mm-hmm.
And that's contributing to it. And a way to overcome that is again through offering development and then offering advancement.
Yes. So I had a great conversation last week with somebody who is weighing the pros and cons of staying at their present organization or leaving and finding something else. And one of the things that they need to consider is what are their opportunities for advancement there where they are.
Mm-hmm.
For them personally, there isn't any. I mean, they are where they are. They're at a small organization. This is it. This is where they are. So when it comes to advancement, when it comes to development, they don't have a whole lot of opportunities there. And if that's something that they want, they are going to have to look elsewhere.
Right.
And I have a feeling that's going to be the case for a lot of people out there.
Sure.
Is they for them to get what it is that they need to be able to grow, they're going to have to leave.
Mm-hmm.
You see this in academia
all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. You reach a certain level and, especially amongst the faculty ranks, I mean, the reality is the highest you can go is, full professor, full tenured professor, unless you're willing to jump off into administration. And most faculty prefer not to do that because they have so much freedom and flexibility with being a faculty member that they're not willing to trade that for what, becomes a 9-to-5 job. That's the problem with being in administration, but that's the career path. Mm-hmm. And that's the choice that you have to make. And then you have a lot of faculty who they will become tenured faculty. Mm-hmm. So they will make it to associate, but they really have no drive or desire to become a full professor. They've got tenure, mm-hmm. and that gives you that job safety. But the problem is, there you are. That's it.
Well, that's it. And your earnings are capped.
Your earnings are capped. And the problem is we've had the earnings inversion in academia forever, mm-hmm. where new people would come on board and they were making more than long-term tenured faculty. Yeah. So, and they had to pay that to attract people. So you'd have newly minted PhDs that were coming in that were making as much and sometimes more than full tenured faculty. And so what faculty would have to do in order to earn more money, I said they had two choices. You either go someplace else, and the problem with that is sometimes when you make that move, particularly as an associate,
you don't.
Yeah, schools may say, we're not going to bring you in as a tenured faculty member. You're going to have to go through that process again, mm-hmm. and it's a tough process. I don't think anybody wants to do that twice.
Well, and there's a lot of research involved.
Yes.
What people don't. Well, when it comes to faculty structure, some of you who aren't in academia may not fully understand it. You generally come in. You're an assistant,
mm-hmm. assistant
professor. You have no tenure, mm-hmm. which means you don't have lifelong tenure. Gives you lifelong
right
job security.
If you're not tenured, then you are basically there at will.
Yes.
And once you receive tenure, then it takes, you have to do something just absolutely horrible.
Burn down the building.
Yeah, burn down the building. Go streaking across campus, I guess. Even that might not get you fired.
Who was it who said he was going to show up? It was Dan.
Yes.
At St. Vincent's. Oh my God. He said, as soon as that first semester after he got tenure, he was going to show up in buttless chaps and a hat, and that was about it.
Yeah.
Because basically that's what you can do.
Yeah.
When you get tenure,
Yep. You'll be disciplined, but you will not be fired. So
No.
it's even though I don't know, that might do it. I don't know. He never did it as far as I know. So, yeah, I mean, you have to do something truly horrible in order to get
and
to
when
be
it
fired.
comes to pay structure, depending on the school, you do see a bump in pay when you go up from assistant to associate, associate to full.
Yep.
So you do have that. However, there's a lot of research involved in it.
Yep.
Your teaching evaluations feed into that. Your evaluations as a whole feed into how you get tenure. And so there is a process that you have to go to. You have to apply for it. It isn't automatic.
Right.
And
but long story short, it's a tough process.
Yeah.
And nobody wants to go through that a second time. And so, yeah, you end up with these, and sometimes you get these professors that make it to associate, and they're kind of burned out on the research at that point. They're really not that interested in continuing on. And that's it. They're stuck. And that's the downside to that. So that security also creates a situation where you end up being stuck. And if that's you determine at some point, this is really not where I want to be,
and you jump,
or I'm just not making enough money.
Yeah.
Then you have to go. And now some schools will bring you in if you're tenured. They will bring you in tenured.
It depends.
So that's
well, especially if you're a full professor already.
If you're a full professor, that's a given.
Yeah.
If you're a full professor, in order to attract you, they're going to have to. Yeah, but it's the associates.
Yeah.
And there's a lot more associates out there than our fulls. So, and then these days, academia is moving away from full-time professors to adjuncts, and adjuncts, they've got nothing. There's no security. And the pay is terrible.
But the whole point of all this is when it comes to what they're earning and when it comes to opportunities for advancement and development, for academia, you've seen this for years where people would just leave.
Right.
And you haven't seen that in most other organizations.
Yeah, a lot of other fields you haven't seen that.
The rest of the industries, you didn't see that.
Right.
It wasn't as prevalent.
And that's because everybody's wages would go up over time. Like I said, academia, and especially, with a lot of universities, anytime that there's they hit a financial speed bump, I know a lot of schools, they will write it on the backs of faculty. It's amazing how that happens. Like the very people that you have to run the place, those are the ones that you displace the most when it comes to financial issues, because the school gets into a crunch. So
other industries are starting to do this.
Yes, it's starting to happen everywhere.
So what's happening now is you're starting to see more industries who are trying to attract better people. And trying to fill, because there's a lot of job openings right now. And when they're trying to fill those job openings, they're offering the people coming in more money than the people who are already there.
Right.
And the people who are already there aren't used to something like that happening.
Right.
And aren't real happy about
They're getting upset about it.
And so I think you're going to have this vicious cycle of people just coming and going.
Right.
Their pay increasing, and part of that you have to do just to keep up with inflation at this point. You have to get that pay increase so that you still have the same buying power that you had last year. And I think you're going to see a lot of people starting to job hop.
Right. And and it's interesting because that's one thing that has come out of all of this is I remember when I was younger, starting out my career, that was one of the things that we were always told, you need to go to work someplace and you need to stay there for 2, 3, 5 years. If you change jobs and then you go to another job and then you change another job, now you got a reputation as a job hopper. Nobody will want to hire you. And back then that was true. And that was because, it was more still, yes, I'm old enough to where it was still more of a traditional, workplace. The idea that you go to work someplace and you work for 40 years and then you retire. The stigma associated with job hopping is gone.
Oh, yeah.
It is gone.
Well, those millennials.
Yes, they changed it.
And for my part, Generation X, so we did it too.
Yes.
It wasn't necessarily quite as often as millennials with us, where we normally would stick it out 1 to 2 years and then move on to someplace else. Millennials, on the other hand, sometimes you wouldn't even get them for a full year.
Right.
However, what happens because of that is once they do find someplace that they like and they stick around with, one of the reasons why is because they've got opportunities for advancement. Right. They've got opportunities to make changes within that organization because it's a broad enough spectrum of jobs to where they could do that, and they have opportunities to develop their own skills.
Right. And see, I think it's a good thing because that means that you don't feel obligated to take a job someplace, and if you find it's just not a good fit, and that happens, you don't feel this obligation to stick around for 2 or 3 years being miserable and probably making the people you're working with miserable. You can go, and there's no the stigma is not attached to it the same way it was. I came in on the very tail end of the baby boomers, and the baby boomers were, oh no, you got to stay there. You got to. Sometimes though, you just get a job and you get a boss that's just so miserable you can't stand it.
Well, people leave bad bosses.
They do leave bad bosses.
Now, for those of you who are looking for personal development or professional development opportunities, what are some of the options that they have out there?
For personal development, professional development, well, people like us, of course.
That's true.
Yeah, certainly us. We can help you with that.
We actually have an event next month.
We do. Yeah. It's called Live to Lead, and it is a rebroadcast of presentations by 5 speakers, but then we are there live, and we're doing this hybrid. So we are live in person at the Penn State Fayette College, University, campus, and then we'll also be hybrid, so you can attend virtually as well. So it's Friday, February 11th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Eastern time, and we have done this before, and it went extremely well. 5 great speakers. I know I've run this down before, but you've got Valerie Burton, who is now in charge of the coaching training for the John Maxwell team.
And she created the Institute for Positive Psychology down in Atlanta. Great lady. She looks for the good things that happen in life and how you can reproduce more good things to happen in life. That's what positive psychology is all about, is bringing out the good.
And then we got Jamie Kern-Lima, who was the founder of IT Cosmetics and sold her company for $1.2 billion to, was it L'Oreal? I think it was L'Oreal. We also got Jeff Henderson, and he will be talking about his book and his program which is exceptional. Ed Milet, who is very inspirational. And then, of course, the man himself, John Maxwell, will be speaking. So it's a great time, and you'll learn a lot.
You do.
And it will also point you in direction of other resources and give you an introduction. If you haven't seen us in action besides this, it'll give you a chance to see us actually doing something. But
one of the cool things about it is you'll leave with some tools.
Yes, absolutely.
That you can put. In fact, throughout the day, we've got reflection questions for you. And the idea is for the next day, you start to implement what it is that you learned. You literally can put things into place right away. And you get some networking opportunities. You get paired up with somebody, even online. We're going to pair you up with somebody else. It's going to be one-on-one, where you're going to talk about, your reflection questions. You're going to talk about what you've learned, what you've gained from this. So it'll give you an opportunity to network with people from either there in the community or across the world, because this is hybrid. So.
And then the other great thing is, once you get connected to our world and you're plugged into our network, if there is something that you need that we can't provide, we can point you in the direction of people who can. So we've got a big network.
We got some friends.
We got some friends, and they do things other than what we do. We got some that do what we do, something similar to what we do, but there's others who do different things, and so we can point you in the right direction.
So if you are one of those people who either you've got a job right now and you're thinking, is this when I jump off? If that's you, this would be a good opportunity for you. If you are a leader within your organization and you're just like, maybe I need to provide some development opportunities for the people on my team.
We can do that for you.
Good opportunity for
Yes.
you. Go to our website, atigueofyourown.com. Click on the Live to Link tab. You can register there. Since it's online, unlimited number of seats online. So literally everyone and anyone can register for online. In person, I think we are capped out for the in-person part because of the size of the room.
Because size of the room.
And because Penn State wants to make sure they don't have too many people inside of a room.
They're all still
to
dealing with the
safe and sound.
The protocols.
So yeah, there is going to be a little bit of a cap there for the in-person part, but online.
That's unlimited.
So much,
yeah.
So if you're interested, do that.
And the beauty of that is you can tune into that from anywhere.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, you can.
Yes.
And it is interactive, so you will need to at least have, from here up, clothes.
Yes. You can wear sweatpants.
Yeah. Sweatpants, slippers.
Yeah, we won't know.
We won't.
And we won't hold it against you.
No. No, we won't have sweatpants and slippers on that day.
No. We're going to be in the room, so we're going to look nice.
So we got to have actual clothes on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, well. That's a bummer, but that's okay.
Yeah.
All right, so lived in. Listen to me.
What are you doing?
I don't know.
Wow.
Facebook land, LinkedIn land, YouTube world. We will be back next week. We actually have a guest next week.
Do we? That's
we
good.
do.
That's good. No, I'm still thinking about lived in. So make the space look like you got clothes and things all over the place. That's all lived in. Yeah, that's what we need. Is an online platform where everybody's place looks like
our daughter's apartment.
Our daughter's apartment. That's definitely lived in.
That is lived in. Yes. She's been there a year now.
Yes. And still hasn't put everything away.
She got the lived in look very fast. Yeah. If you ever need some help getting that lived in look,
she can help. She's an expert at it. Yes. Just throw it on the floor.
Put it here, put it there.
No, that's where that goes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No. If you are somebody with OCD, you could not enter her.
It drives you crazy.
It would. Yeah. You'd be like, what? Yeah. No. Yeah. Not good. All right. So we've got a guest next week. One of my friends, Dr. Serena, is going to be here.
Okay.
And she is a doctor. One of the things that she's going to talk about is leadership in the medical field.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, wow. And there's a loaded topic.
Yes.
Gee whiz.
Because one of the reasons why she went into the medical field is because she had this calling and she wanted to serve her patients. And when she got in there and started actually working out in the field, that's when she found out, oh,
it's not really about the patients.
This is what it's about.
Yeah.
And so she's going to be on here next week, and she's going to be talking about that. So.
Yeah, I figured some of that stuff out when I was a medic in college. Yeah. So, yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah.
All right. So we will see you next week. Thanks for tuning in. Like I said, head over to the website, atigueofyourown.com. Click on the Live to Lead tab, and you can register for Live to Lead. You can also reach out to us on LinkedIn, on Facebook. We're here for you. Let us know how things are going, how we can serve you, because today is a day of service. So let us know how we can serve you. Till then, we will see you next week. Bye, everyone.
Bye.